Thanks for tuning in. Today we're going to be reviewing the Topeak Nano 7, 9, and 11 mini compact multi-tools. It's essential to carry tools on your ride so that you can make roadside repairs or quick adjustments. Topeak's new Nano tools are a set of CNC machine tools that are compact and portable enough to tuck into a pocket or saddlebag. We have all three variations, the Nano 7, 9, and 11, which have varying degrees of functionality but all have a very compact shape. Packaging wise, they're all very similar. You have a yellow and white color scheme that matches a lot of Topeak branding. Nice glossy representations of the tool right on there. And then illustration of the specs and the tool in use on the back side. So I'll go ahead and start opening these up and we can go over the specs. So retail price on this ranges from $37.95 all the way up to $47.95 for the Nano 7. The Nano 9 is $42.95, so right in between. They're all portable multi-tools that are designed for cycling specifically. They're all CNC machined with an aluminum body, so really nicely well designed and should be able to survive a lot of rides and miles. Depending on which one you pick, you get different amount of functionality. So the 7 gets 7, the 9 gets 9 functions, and then the Nano 11 gets 11 functions. They'll have Chrome Vanadium Steel tools, so pretty durable. And then you also have a modular design. So Topeak was actually pretty clever here. They've combined the flathead with the 5mm to create an 8mm hex tool. So that's what keeps them all really compact. You can see they're all very small. The 7 is really tiny, kind of not much wider than a finger. The 9's right in between there, and the 11's a little bit more standard size, but still very compact. With all of these, you get an instruction manual that gives you basic usage. That's about it. There's no case or any cover for these like you would get with the larger tools. Now let's take a look at the weight of the tools. The Nano 7 comes in at a really light 45 grams. The 9 is a little bit heavier at 60 grams. And then the biggest Nano 11 that comes in at 73. The Topeak Nano tools are a set of minimalist CNC-made bike tools that are optimized for portability. We have all three variations, the really tiny Nano 7, the Nano 9, and then a little bit bigger Nano 11. They'll have a beautiful aluminum body, so you can see one side is black with the Topeak branding, then the other side has a sort of gray color with its anodized finish, and then the Nano 7 printed on there, Nano 11 printed on Nano 11, and then Nano 7 on the other one. They have this nice polished bolt and then a 2-hinge design. So you can see both of them have these hinge designs with the tools arranged in a row on each end, an aluminum body to protect it. All the tools are chromium vanadium steel, which is pretty common for durability and precision. And then you can see they all stretch out to access each tool individually and can pivot all the way around. Starting with the Nano 7, this is the tiniest tool in the lineup, and it really is impressive. It's not much larger than your finger, so very easy to carry, and you'll really forget it's there as you can tuck it in nearly anywhere. This has 7 different functions, so you can see opening it first requires a little bit of extra attention. You actually have to push down with your thumb on one end, and then with your thumb on the other side to pivot both out. So this will push against this as you push the other one out. That's really the only way to open it, as there's no space between the end of the tool and the actual pivot point. So you have to be careful of that and remember this special procedure. So with this, you have a couple different hex tools. So you have a 2, a 3, a 4, a 5, and an 8. What's cool about the 8mm is it's actually a combination of the 5, which is the black tool here, and then the flathead screwdriver. So if you put them next to each other, that combined thickness is actually 8mm. So pretty clever, and that's a feature that all of them have and keep everything really compact. You also have that T25 tool. So pretty common on some stems and other small pieces, as well as that flathead again, which we saw combines with the 5mm. So pretty cool design, but obviously very small, and we've actually seen this tool before. It's part of the hidden bottom bracket tool, as it's so small it fits within that bottom bracket tool. But again, it's so small that you do have to be careful with this one. As far as using it, it is so tiny that you don't have a lot of leverage, and you do have to remember the special procedure for opening it up. With the Nano 9, you get 2 additional hex wrenches. So this one you have more space, so you can actually just reach in there and pull them open. With this one, you get a 2.5 and a 6 millimeter. So that's the additional tools here. So you can see that big 6 millimeter. It's actually labeled as well, so it's printed right on the side. And then you get the 2.5, so a little bit more functionality. And then finally the largest one, which is the Nano 11, gives you a couple more functions. So now you get a T10 and T15 torques compared to the Nano 9. So this should cover most repairs. You don't have tubeless tools or other extra features. Instead, they're really just focused on hex and torques, as well as the little flathead, which should cover most basic repairs on the road. If you need more major repairs, obviously you need more tools, but this is perfect for making a little adjustment or maybe popping a chain out if it gets locked behind your chainring. Now let's take a look at the tools in action with our Trek Amande SLR. You can see the Nano 9 and 11 are pretty easy to open, while the 7 requires a little bit of a special procedure by pivoting both points together. But with the larger ones, you can just stick your finger in there and open it up. Once you found the tool you want, you just open that up to a 90-degree point and then fold everything else. All these tools are pretty small, so you're not going to have a lot of leverage, but you do have a nice aluminum body, and the chrome bits feel really well designed. You have all the basic bits you need. Most tools will require simple hex wrenches between 2 to 9. So even with the Nano 7, you should have everything covered. What's great about these, they're really tiny, but that does mean you have less leverage, so you can see for harder jobs, you're going to want to kind of brace yourself on the bike itself. And once you're done with it, just fold it up, throw it in your saddlebag, and forget about it. Now let's compare the Nano tools with some other tools on the market. Here we have the Mini PT30 from Topeak. So you can see significantly larger. It's almost double or triple the size of even the Nano 11. And comparing that to the Nano 7, you can see the Nano 7 is almost the same size as one of the set of tools. The big downside of this tiny tool is that you just don't get the leverage that you do with something like the PT30. You don't get the 30 functions that you get with it. So it's really a trade-off. If you really need something with more roadside repairs, I would recommend something larger. But if you're a real minimalist and you don't have much space, then something like the Nano 7 is great just to have. There also is the Topeak Mini 9, so that's their other series compared to the Nano. You can see much larger, so it's actually, you have much more leverage here. The way they do the 5 and the 8 is kind of this combination cover, which is pretty cool. But you can see quite a bit bulkier compared to the little Nano one. And then some of these tools even have chain breakers, so like this, but I'd still recommend a real chain breaker, especially for in-home repairs. And then on the road, if you do have the misfortune, you do have that backup with some of the larger ones. But again, you really want larger tools, so real hex wrenches, or something like a simple park tool. This is the AWS 10, which has much more leverage than something like this would have, especially with the harder repairs. But for roadside repairs, these are a really good option, as they're just really, really tiny, so they don't really cost you any weight or space. Now let's go over the pros and cons of the Topeak Nano tools. What we like about them is that they have a very clever design. They're nice and portable, despite having a metal body and a very premium finish. The tools also include all the essential hex and torque bits you need for simple roadside repairs. The main negatives for these tools is the fact that there's no storage bags included, so they might scratch other items in your saddlebag. Also, the small size may limit the access and the leverage that you have for more difficult jobs. Taking everything into account would give the tools an 8.7 out of 10. It's a nice compact and modular tools that are easy to carry and great for roadside repairs. Thanks for watching this review. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can see more content from us on our website at thesweetcyclist.com, as well as follow us on Instagram at thesweetcyclist. This is The Sweet Cyclist reminding you to enjoy the ride.